Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone. It's me, Ali, your fancy friend in Montreal. And today we're talking all about Sisley makeup, Sisley Beauty. I have a lot of products from the brand and they recently sent me their new eyeshadow palette here. This one called Toffee. A few of you had requested that I review this soon and the brand sent this to me. So I thought now is the perfect time. And I thought it would be great to talk about Sisley because when I think of Sisley Beauty, I think of extremely natural looking makeup, very natural beauty. And I thought it could be fun to run through the different categories and talk about what's worth spending on. But before we go any further, let's take a second to grab our iced coffee or a hot coffee. Let's take a sip and let's get started. So this lovely eyeshadow palette here comes with the animal print, which is very standard for Sisley. And this palette here is called Tender Toffee. I would say that this lands more in the slightly warmer category. There is a second palette option that's available, which I skipped. It looked a bit too rosy for my taste. I like these hues, especially for the autumn season. I think it's really lovely. Now, in the four colors, there are a couple different textures. So the white color here is, it's not a topper, but I find the texture is different than the rest. This is a little bit more sparkly. I think I'm going to be careful with this one. I think the one next to it is so soft. It's so buttery. It's very nice. It's that beautiful satin, which is really, really lovely. And then the bottom two are just classic mattes, which I think is quite nice. And I'm just going to turn my hand like this. Hopefully you can sort of catch the light and see some of the shine we're talking about here. All of the products and the brushes that I'm mentioning are all affiliate links in the description box, so please feel free to go have a look there. I always start with eyes first, so today is no different. I'm using a big fluffy brush. I think this is Makeup Forever. And let me go into the lightest color here. Okay, I'm noticing a little bit of fallout. I'm just going to wave my wand around here. But I'm just noticing a little bit of fallout in the eyeshadow here. Also, I did apply a eyeshadow primer. I used the Hourglass one. I have very oily and hooded eyelids, so it doesn't matter which brand of eyeshadow I review. If I don't put on a primer, it is game over. Okay, so this is going on nicely. This is sort of my skin tone, but a little bit deeper. It's a nice transition color. It's very light. I want to say fallout or kickback, whatever you call it, reminds me of YSL Beauty a little bit. I think the formula here is not as fragile as YSL. That one there is like very fragile. You can sort of see it explode, not explode, but like it's very, very fragile as soon as you dip into it. But this one here is not as fragile, but you do get some fallout. Let's go into the deeper color here. I think this one's going to be quite nice. This one here is a little bit warmer. I think the palette overall is warm, but I think this color here is more like a rich cocoa. I think they did a really great job with the color selection in this palette. It's just, you know, when you think of neutrals, even warm neutrals, they're not reinventing the wheel with these colors, but sometimes the most quote-unquote boring looking colors in the palette just always look so nice. Honestly, it's not even, I mean, it's always the case. The palettes that look the most dull at the counter always look the most elegant and the most natural in real life, which is what you want. And then taking a clean brush. So you take one brush that's like shorter and more dense with the bristles to apply the dark color, and then a fluffy, clean blending brush like this. And what this does is that this allows you to control how dark your makeup look gets. Okay, let me go into this beautiful satin color, just using a flat brush. I think it's a MAC brush here. That shade is so pretty. I love the lightness, the satin finish, that touch of gold. Ooh, that is so, so pretty. I'm so glad they included that in the palette here. Wow. Okay, maybe I'll just go into this other color here with my fingertip. I think that's the best way to apply it. And I'll just tap on a little bit in the center just to add even more lightness. Now for the eyeliner, I'm actually going to go into Victoria Beckham because I have one of the Sisley Kohl eyeliners, which I like, but I really, really love the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. Something about this, I swear Posh put some magic potion in these. They're so good. And so the Sisley eyeliners are good, but not as good as Victoria Beckham. It's just the truth. This one here is the shade Cocoa. I think Cocoa is going to look so nice with these beautiful, rich, warm colors here. Now, I did notice a little bit of fallout. It's interesting because in the palette, I noticed the most fallout with this color here, but in the palette. But on my face, I think the little satin color just had a little bit of drop down here, which I know some people really hate fallout. Personally, I just think it's part of the process because, I mean, I don't know, I always do my eyes first. I'm just taking a little bit of eye cream on a Q-tip here, and I'm just going to clean it up. I mean, yeah, I just think it's part of the process. You just do what I'm doing here to clean up a bit of the mess. I mean, I guess some brands or some products really just give too much fallout, but yeah, I think like this much or even a little bit more, it doesn't bother me. But we all have our things that bother us. Now for the foundation, at the moment, I don't have a Sisley foundation. I have said this many times and I'll probably say it again. When it comes to Sisley foundations, specifically the shade ranges, guys, Sisley, if you're listening, you need to tweak it a little bit. Okay, you know how when you see a foundation shade range, you have like, I don't know, B10 to like 100, let's say. And 10 is here, so 20 is a little bit deeper, and so on and so forth. With Sisley, the 10 is one shade, and then the 20 is one shade, but instead of just being a little bit deeper in the same direction, it's a little bit deeper, but really cool or really warm, if that makes sense to you. Like instead of just being like a gradual slope with having cool tone and warm tone shades along the way, it really just jumps from one side to the next. And there's one foundation in particular that I had, which I liked, but it was really, really tricky. Let me find it. It was the Phyto-Teint Ultra Éclat. I had that for a while. I did like it, but that one in particular, the shade range was so trippy to find. It's just, yeah, I really wish Sisley would perhaps, you know, do a little rejudging of the shade range because it's very confusing. I find that if you're buying online for a foundation from Sisley, Godspeed. It's one of those products that I would not recommend you buy online unless you go to the store, get a swatch, and you live with it and you decide that you're going to buy it and you choose to buy it online. It's really tricky. So anyway, all that to say, I'm going to use my Capture Totale foundation. This sadly has been discontinued, and no, I have not found a dupe for it yet. I'm on the hunt. I will keep hunting. I am the shade 3N. The reason I like the Capture Totale, or liked in the past, is that it's skincare and foundation. But yeah, many of you have asked me for a dupe for this one. I'm on the hunt. I like the U Beauty Super Tinted Hydrator, but that's like a skin tint. Whereas the Capture Totale is a foundation. So we're still gonna keep looking. Still going to keep searching for a dupe. Now, moving on to the concealer, Sisley also sent me the Phyto-Eye Éclat. It's the lovely concealer here. I'm in the shade number 4, and I did a wear test of this yesterday. So it comes with like a little metal applicator, and it comes with a wand here. Now, I don't usually like these flat spatula concealer brushes. I like a big fluffy one, but I'll show you the application here and blending in a minute. So it comes out like this. I prefer a big fluffy concealer brush like this. I just find that it disperses and buffs everything in place. And again, this is the concealer number 4. I wasn't sure which shade to get, but I think 4 for me is perfect. I like to just let it set for a few seconds just to give it an extra coverage. And like, just look at this. Look at the blending, guys. I'm really sorry to tell you this, but I do think that this is really worth it. Like, look at this concealer. It just disappears. Wow, gorgeous. Well, that took 0 effort. It looks so natural. It looks light, but also it covers at the same time, because some concealers look natural in a bad way. This just melts instantly. It blurs, it buffs, it smooths. It is gorgeous. And I'll include the wear test here. I wore it for like a solid 10 hours. I did a couple of check-ins and it doesn't crease, it doesn't move, it doesn't budge. Unfortunately, I'm really sorry, but I do think that this is a really good concealer that's worth it. And I think it's better than Sublimage. I do think so. The Sublimage, the Chanel Sublimage concealer for a very long time has been like the one concealer that I do think is worth it. It's very pricey. It has like skincare benefits in it, but I think the Sisley one is better. The Sisley concealer also has skincare benefits, and I'm not saying it's better because they sent it to me. I'm saying it's better because it is. You can see, I mean, it took no effort. It glides. It's a cream product, but it's not too wet. So something about that formula, when it's a cream but not too wet, really blends easily. I find that the Sublimage concealer is a bit more wet in texture, so it takes a little bit longer to dry down, which I think is why this is easier to apply. If you like one, you would like the other. I think this one is just a little bit higher up, in my opinion. Now let's move on to a bronzer. Sisley also sent me the bronzer earlier this summer. It's the Phyto Touche. I think there's only one bronzer here. And I posted about it, and a lot of you wanted to know, does this have like glitter? Is it sparkly? It's luminous here, and it's also luminous on the face, but there's no glitter. It's one of those gel powder formulas. So I'm just going to buff this on here. And it's luminous in that it makes you look healthy and glowy and luminous, but no sparkle. There's no glitter, nothing like that. This Sisley bronzer reminds me of like the Chantecaille gel powder bronzer. If you like that sort of gel powder, it looks very soft, very luminous. There's no glitter, no chunky glitter particles, that sort of thing. I think you would like this. One thing that I wish they would do is I wish they would improve their shade range with the bronzer. It's a shame that there aren't deeper options available, so hopefully they fix that in the future. I think that it is very nice. Like, again, at the beginning of the video, I said, like, when I think of Sisley Beauty, I think of very natural makeup. If you want a very natural bronzer, I think that this is, sorry, I have a baby here, it's bothering me, but I think that this is the type of bronzer for you. And now moving on to the blush. Oh, okay, oops, sorry, I think I touched the microphone there, but the blush. Okay, so this is the Orchidée blush number 3. This is a coral one. I hemmed and hawed about buying this for years because it's so pricey. It is so beautiful. The blushes look like this. They have a couple blushes. They have powder ones that are more simple. They have a blush stick, but this is the one. It's like a blush, highlighter, illuminator, multiple product in one. They have a few shades and they're gorgeous. Like I said, I hemmed and hawed for a couple of years. Then I bought it and I'm very happy with my purchase. It's so lovely. One thing I have to say is that Sisley goes on sale a couple times a year. They have like their friends and family sale. Probably soon. I think they do one in the spring, one in the fall. So, you know, I personally, I mean, it's a very expensive brand. So I have no shame in telling you that I save my shopping cart online and wait for that sale, and then I click. This blush, oh, it's so pretty. I mean, it gives me joy when I open it. It's just so pretty. I'm like, oh, wow, it's so lovely. But then also just on the cheek, I just think it's lovely. It's a coral color, but it's not too orange. It's just very lovely. And I'm going to wear a slightly bolder lip color in a moment. And I think that this will just pair together. I'm not wearing any highlighter. It's just, I think it's the bronzer and then this blush here. It gives that luminous glow on the cheek where it's healthy, lit from within in a very beautiful way. For the lip, at the beginning of the year, Sisley came out with these new velvet lipsticks, and I bought a couple of them because they're so lovely. I went with the reds because, I mean, it's just very classic to wear a red lipstick. And if you ever want to look very put together with putting very little effort, throw on a red lipstick. So this is the shade 41. It looks beautiful in the tube, and wait until I put it on. Perfect. This lipstick almost matches this shirt, but it doesn't. I think that these lipsticks here, I mean, I've purchased the regular lipsticks, like the more satin formula. Those are very lovely as well. And if you have very dry lips, I think that more satin formula might be for you just because it has a bit more moisture. But I find that these velvet ones, they last. They last through meals. They last several hours. I think the colors are beautiful. But again, I got more red colors because that's just my personality. I think that the Sisley lipsticks are worth it. They're a splurge, but they're just so beautiful, and the colors are so rich and so saturated. So, okay, let's do like a quick recap. I think that the eyeshadow palette is very pretty. They did not reinvent the wheel. You know, they haven't changed anything new, but if you want a very fancy Sisley quad, they have them now, because for a long time they only did the singles, which I kind of appreciate. I like that Sisley does what they want at their own pace. They're not beholden to coming out with 4,000 new products a year. I like that they just randomly come out with new products whenever they feel like. It feels so much more luxurious than that like Black Friday outlet mall frenzy that a lot of other brands do. So I like that. I like the palette, but I have a lot of the singles. Let me do some swatches of the singles too. So up here we have the palette, and then these three are the singles that I've purchased over the years. This one here is Matte Taupe. It's a really lovely, more cool leaning, almost gray taupe color. And then Sparkling Topaz. Listen, Sparkling Topaz, I don't think it's quite the same as the satin color from the palette, but Sparkling Topaz has been one of my favorite eyeshadows, period, for a very long time. It's just so lovely. And then I have Matte Cocoa, which I really love as well. I don't know. I mean, I've purchased multiple Sisley singles over the years. I think that the formula, just from touching them, I find that the formula for the singles is a little bit softer. I think just in comparison, side by side, I think that the palette is a little bit drier. I don't know why, I'm just noticing that. So I've almost built a quad here on my own, and I have a blue one that I love called Silky French Blue, which just has nothing to do with these ones here. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am very happy with my singles, but it's also nice to have a palette, especially when you travel. So what do you think of the palette here? What do you think of the palette in comparison to the singles? It is nice when you have the singles, you can sort of pick and mix the ones you want, but at the same time, a palette is more complete. And I guess in order to complete a makeup look, we need to add a touch of fragrance. Sisley sent me this earlier this summer as well. It's a new product. It's Le Parfum, and it smells like the Sisley hair care products. So it smells like a spa. It's a hair perfume, hair mist, but you can also spray it on the body. It's really, it smells like a spa. If you can imagine a very luxurious spa, this is what it smells like. And I'm going through it because it's just very light and refreshing. So, okay, what's worth it from Sisley? I think the products that stand out to me the most, honestly, the concealer. That was one that I was on the fence for a very long time because of the price point, and they sent it to me. Thank you. But yeah, the concealer is really, really good, you guys. Like, really good. The blush, the super elaborate, pretty blush, very pricey. I'm glad I spent my money on it. The lipsticks, also so happy I spent my money on those because they're just so lovely and also so French. You know, like this red, oof, so pretty. And I think I might slightly prefer the singles over the palette. I'm sorry, Sisley, thank you for sending me the palette, but there's something about, I don't know, they're just a little bit softer in formula, which I think I prefer. But anyway, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know what else you want me to test out from Sisley, and I'll see if I can send a little email and maybe they'll send me something else to test out. Or maybe I'll wait for the next sale because usually the sale is 20%, which is, you know, a good amount. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.